Okay, so this is a continuation of week 5 Wednesday ratio semester 2 from math 6. So we went ahead and went over the study guide and we're gonna go over to the last question. So watch the previous video to get the latest information on that. So we just finished 5, so let's move on to number 6. For question number 6, the ratio height to width, so height to width for a TV screen is 9:16. Okay, so here is your ratio proportionality. Your ratio proportionality is going to be the height of a TV to width of a TV, and that's equal to 9/16. How high is a screen? So here's the question. How high is a screen? So X is high. High means height. Okay, that is 60 inches in width. So equals 60 is width, which is on the bottom. X is what you're trying to find. Now remember, you want to cross multiply this. So 9 times 6 is 54. Put down the 0. 16x divided by 16 on both sides. I want you to go ahead and divide this on your own. Make sure you show the work for that. But if you do, we have 540 divided by 16. Try to do this on the side. If I round 16 to 20, I know 20 times 3 is 60. I need 54, so let's try 3. 18. So 48 is smaller than 54, so that's actually a good number to use. So I'm going to put 3, I'm going to put 48, and we should have 6 as a remainder, 0. So then again, if you think about it, 20 times 3 is 60, so 16 times 3 is 48. So try 3 again, which is 48. Subtract it, you get a 12, okay? At this point, 16 doesn't go into 12 because 12 is too small. So you put a dot or a decimal, 0. Now remember, 16 is close to 20 if you round it up. 20 times 6 is 120. So then I know that when I do 16 times 6, it's going to be smaller than 120. So that's going to give me 36, 6, 96. I think I could squeeze in another number in there. So let's try 7, which is 42. 112 is closer to 120 without going over. So you should have a 7. 16 times 7 is 112, which then gives you an 8. Put down another 0. I'm going to erase this piece right over here so we have a little bit more room. 16, if you think about it, 20 times 4 is 80. So let's try 16 times 5 because, 20 times 4 is 80. 16 times 4 would be smaller than 80. So that's going to give me 30. And guess what? It gives you a perfect 80. Okay. So then let's put 5 here, which is 80. So then your X is equal to 33.75 inches. So to answer the question that you have here, Emma, so it says, how high is a screen that is 40 inches in width? The height of the screen is 33.75 inches with a 40-inch width screen. Or actually with a 40-inch width. And that's sufficient. That's your answer for this question. No. No, put that away, please. Okay, a handful to put in a cup. Don't just eat the whole bag. All right, last question, number 7. Grandma made applesauce using the same number of bags of red and yellow apples. Her red apples cost $6 and her yellow apples cost $14. I used her recipe but made more applesauce. I paid $35 for my yellow apples. How much did my red apples cost? Okay, so these are the two. Remember how there was a previous question where they did the pink and white carnations combined together, right? This question right here is not like that. This question right here is just yellow apples and red apples separate, okay? The question here is saying, if I pay $35 for my yellow apples, how much is my red apples? It's not yellow with red apples in a bag combined, okay? So when you're reading your question, make sure you're able to distinguish the difference between the two. So your ratio here is going to be your red apple over yellow apples. The question already gives you that, Emma, red costs $6, yellow costs 14. So you start with that. So red is 6, yellow is 14 equals $35 for the yellow apple. So 35 goes on the bottom. How much did my red apples cost? So X is going to be your red apples, right? Then we're going to cross multiply. So 35 times 6 is 210 equals 14x. So then you're going to divide 210 by 14. So you could do some work here. Well, if I reduce estimate and down estimate, if you think about it, well, actually, I don't even need to do this because I'm just doing 21. So 1, 14, 7, bring down the 0. Now, 14, if I estimate it down, is 10. 10 times 7 is 70. So let's try 6, okay? That's going to give me 24. Oh, that's too big. That's 84. So 14 times 5. This is going to give me a 20. And guess what? That's perfect. It's 70. So put 5 here. 0. So X equals 15. 15 what? 15. Look at the question that you have. Red apples. Yeah. So then when you go ahead and answer this question on your test, go back to the question. It says, how much did my red apples cost? The red apples cost $15 if the yellow apple cost 35 for apples. Yeah, I mean, well, for $15, you probably are gonna buy like 5 pounds because apples are generally $3 a pound. But in the fall and winter time, they're usually like $1.50 a pound. Okay, so that's how you would answer your question. The hardest question I would say that is on here was the previous 2 questions, or the third to last question that was on carnations with the red and white because you have to combine them. This question is a really hard question. The reason why this is a really hard question is part B. It says, how many pink and white carnations are in a bouquet of 35 carnations? The bouquet of 35 carnations imply they combine the red, the white, and the pink together, right? It's given to you that by using 4 white carnations, you have 3 pink carnations, right? So 4 white, 3 pink. Now, if you do a total, then that means it's 4 white plus 3 pink, which is 7. Do you see that? So because this is a bouquet of 35, this is the total, okay? So you need to have a ratio to help you. Your ratio to help you answer part B is going to be the total over, the first one is going to be the pink carnation, and the second ratio is going to be the total over the white carnation, okay? So then what are your 2 numbers you're going to use? Pink and white, which is 7, right? Over pink, which is 3. So when you have 2 numbers for the top and bottom, you use this as an anchor to help you find the unknown X. Do you see that? Okay. So then the question is, how many pink carnations in a total of 35? 35 is pink and white. 35 goes on top, X goes on the bottom. That's how you set up the first question right here. So I'll put this one as A. This is A for pink, right? Cross multiply 15 pink carnations. Then for B, which is your white carnations, you still have to use the total because the 35 you're going to be using is total. So the total is 7 over white carnations, because my goal is to find white carnations, is out of 4 equals the total that's given to you in the question, which is 35, but it's asking you for part B, which is a question mark on white, so that's X. Cross multiply, you get 20. Well, in your bouquet of 35 carnations, 35 pink plus 20 white still gives you 35, right? So that checks out. That's how you check your work. There was another question that we did on this one that required both. It was like a combination question where it asked you for like a red and white carnation, but it was a different, it wasn't, let me see if I can find it. Do you remember the one? I don't remember what it was called, but it wasn't this one. Let me see if I can find it. It was like seashells or something. I don't remember which one it was. Hold on. Let me pause this for a second.